Hi everyone, so I'm here with Sorrell from the Retreat Animal Rescue in High Howden, Kent. We're just going to be meeting some of the cows and calves here today and talking to Sorrell, who looks after them, about the challenges of looking after ex-industry cows. Right, so Sorrell, do you want to introduce yourself, what you do here at the retreat?
Yeah, so basically I take care of the farm animals. I've been working here for about 2 years now, just coming up. Work with the cows, the pigs, the goats and the sheep, so all of the farm animals. Sometimes I'm a scratching post. Sometimes I feed them, I clean them, make sure they've got bedding. If they've got any problems, I give them medication. Yeah.
Oh, no. So what are the main challenges of trying to care for ex-dairy and meat industry cows?
Well, sometimes we don't get the full story, so sometimes we don't know exactly what they've been through. And naturally in the industry the farmers want to use the animals for profit, so if there's anything wrong with them that would cost them too much money to fix, they would just discard them in some way or another. Which means that when we have these animals with these issues, the vets aren't used to treating them as much because, naturally farmers wouldn't usually take them. Now we're getting more sanctuaries and more animals in the sanctuaries. They find, we're working with the vets the best we can, but there's definitely some grey areas where we're not sure how to treat them the best. And there's a little, it might be this, it might be that. So there's a bit of that going on. But we do our best, and it's, some of these ailments and diseases are universal to different species, so it's quite easy to deal with.
So what's it like working at the retreat and having the opportunity to spend all this time with the ex-industry cows?
It's really rewarding, really fun, so there's never a dull moment around the cows. They've all got their individual personalities, so Princess likes a lot of fuss and attention, which is why she's called Princess. Sylvia's really chill, Myrna's quite bolshy. They're really fun. It's hard work, but it's good work. And the only downside really is when, we can't help an animal. It's always hard saying goodbye to animals that you end up bonding with and stuff like that. But other than that, I have no complaints whatsoever. I often get told I have the best job in the world, so I'll take that.
So the reason we're at the retreat today is because we're here filming for our Christmas calf celebration. We're here to celebrate all the cows, bullocks and calves that are fortunately in sanctuary, but also to remember the ones that are lost in the billions every year to the meat and dairy industries. So we've come to meet a very special girl who's in front of the camera now. Hopefully she stays here. This is Myrna. We're going to talk about Myrna, her story at the retreat, and about her mum Fiona, who sadly passed away earlier this year.
Fiona was used in the beef industry. She was a breeding cow, so she gave birth to many cows in her time at the farm, and every calf that she obviously gave birth to was taken away from her and reared for beef. So she suffered something that we call cancellation of hope, which is what it sounds like. So naturally a cow has a very strong bond with its calf. After a certain amount of times of her calf being taken away from her, she suffered the condition where she had trouble bonding with the calves because she just knew that she wasn't going to get to keep them. It's kind of a mental health issue, if you like, with cows. So when she was pregnant and she arrived at the retreat, she gave birth to Myrna. And when Myrna arrived, she struggled to bond with her because, again, she was expecting Myrna to be taken away from her. It was only after a short while that she realised that she was okay and she was going to get to keep her. And I remember my first visit here and remember how protective that Fiona was over Myrna, which, knowing what I know now, is quite nice and quite powerful, because cows really do need to be with their mothers. Naturally that's what they want to do, and they would naturally stay with the herd, so it's very important for them to have that opportunity.
So sorry to ask, it's a difficult question. Have you noticed any difference in Myrna's behaviour since Fiona's passing? It's knowledge now, especially to us in the vegan community, that cows do form very close friendships, especially with their family members. Do you think that the cows in the herd, especially Myrna, did they mourn Fiona's loss?
Yeah, I mean, when a cow gets ill, they kind of move away from each other. There was probably a period, I wasn't working that day, where they were around her to say their goodbyes. And after the death of Fiona, once she was taken away, Myrna was very she would just separate herself and stay away from the herd, which is a sign that, something's wrong. She definitely did miss her, and she normally had stayed with Dewey, Duchess and Ruby and Sylvia, but actually we realised that she missed Princess, which is why she's living with her now, because her, Fiona and Sylvia would have lived with Princess for over a year, so she's very familiar to her, and again it's important that she has a cow that she's close with and that she can look up to. So Princess is looking after Myrna now. Princess
has fostered, if you will, quite a few calves that have come through the retreat, which just does demonstrate the emotional capacity of cows, and puts into perspective just how painful it must be for them to be in the beef and dairy industries, to be segregated from their calves, and to live in these unnaturally barren and large systems where they can't possibly form the friendships they need to. So it's beautiful to see them here in a family like everyone deserves to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell everyone watching what it means to you and Alice and every cow here at the retreat that people decide not to eat meat and not to eat dairy this Christmas.
Yeah, it means everything. I mean, these guys wouldn't be here if there weren't people out there rescuing them, thinking about their future and wanting a better life for them. These animals come from industries that exploit them, and if you can look at these animals and think, I couldn't hurt you, I couldn't eat you, then you really should be thinking about ways in which you can reduce your beef intake and your dairy intake, and hopefully and maybe stop completely. A lot of our visitors come here and they end up having favourite cows. Everyone here at the retreat is more than willing to help you make the change, and there are plenty of kind of resources out there to help you do that, and it's not as hard as you would think at all. So it means absolutely everything.
Yeah, of course. This is my fourth Christmas as a vegan. The first one is a bit challenging, but after that it becomes second nature. Yeah, and absolutely. I guess at the crux of it is who could eat another person, really. Yeah. And everyone we've been here filming today, we just want everyone to know that cows are people too. Every animal living at the retreat, every animal living in sanctuary is a person, has their own free will, or they should have their own free will anyway, just like us human beings do. So we'll wrap it up now, but I just wanted to ask, what can people do for their local vegan animal rescues this Christmas, especially after the difficult year we've had? How can we support you more?
Yeah, so our vet bills at the moment are extremely high. So if you guys keep an eye on our Facebook page, we've also got a fundraising group which you can find by searching on Facebook, the retreat fundraising group. You'll see it. We've got loads of different fundraisers coming up. My sister, for one, is selling some art. We've got someone else selling art to try and raise money. On the Facebook page we put up things that we're desperate for, so we're always needing towels, things like that. We have a list of things we need regularly, so food for the animals, bedding for the animals. You can buy a bale of hay from our supplier. You can ring up our vets and pay a portion of a vet fee. There are loads of different ways. We've also got Secret Santa going at the moment, so if you contact our page, we'll put you in touch with one of our volunteers who's organising it, and you can choose an animal, buy them a Christmas present, and then you'll get a picture of them enjoying it, which is nice. So any help majorly appreciated, because this year has been tough for many animal charities, and we don't get any help from the government because of the pandemic. So yeah,
of course, and it's more important than ever as we are quickly approaching the need to have a plant-based food system to go vegan. There will unfortunately be this excess of animals that, because they're no longer profitable, they are going to need somewhere to live. So the vegan sanctuaries that we have got with us today, the vegan sanctuaries that we're going to have in the future, are crucial to the animal rights movement, and they really need your support. So I'd also like to say, obviously today we are here celebrating calves. If you followed Animal Justice Project this year, you'll know that one of our major investigations is into the calf trade. We will be carrying this forward into 2021, as there is so much to uncover between the beef and the dairy industries and the integration of both of these industries. So please do donate to the Retreat Animal Rescue, but please do consider a donation to Animal Justice Project too. Our investigators are in the field uncovering the horrors that the dairy and the meat industries don't want you to see. And the sanctuaries are obviously here on the ground caring for the very lucky few that do make it out of these industries.